Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. This is Recruiting Intel. I'm Joe Cook, got Coach Dub, got Justin Wells. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you've not done so yet, head to InsideTexas.com. $1 will get you access all the way up until the Ohio State game. That's recruiting, which we're talking about here. We talk about it more over on Inside Texas. That's Team Insight as camp starts just over a week from today. And of course, that is everything Longhorns, everything college football. So go to Inside Texas, link in our description. Of course, also buy Thinking Texas Football from Paul Wadlington, the 2025 Longhorn Football Prospectus, a look at every single player, every opponent, every team in the SEC, the landscape of college football, and the 2025 recruiting class with a look from Eric Nahlin. So go check that out. Today, Justin, we'll get into the video in just a second, but you made your way to Palestine Westwood. A lot of people know about Palestine High based off various athletes that have gone through there over the years, including, of course, Adrian Peterson. Westwood, not as much, but they may have one of the best prep athletes in the country in Kavian Bryant. There at quarterback, at guard, at everything there for the Lions.
Yeah, so Westwood is kind of was known for a long time as kind of the stepchild in the city of Palestine. It's always been about the Palestine Wildcats for the most part. But enter Kavian Bryant, enter the Bryant family. Like, there's three of these kids, and they're all really good. And both their parents coach at Westwood. And they are ready to kind of set a standard there. Yeah, everybody remembers Adrian Peterson, the greatest high school football player I've ever seen out of Palestine. But now all the whispers are at Westwood, and they've got some really good talent there. I spent some time this morning, and let me tell you something. Kavian Bryant looks beautiful. Like, that's what a number one quarterback looks like. Like, he is just built. He's almost 6'3". He's a little bit over 6'2", almost 190 pounds. He's getting bigger. He's getting stronger. And it was just fun to catch up with him, with his dad. They also, like I said, he has a little brother named Caden, who's a 2029 prospect. He already has 4 offers, and he's not even in high school yet. So that to give you an idea of just how talented these guys are. And there's some other ones. There's a handful of other players on the team that are getting looks and getting offers. And so they're building something there, and it begins with Kavian.
You know, I have some my wife's family's from Palestine, and I looked it up and asked her. It was not like a UIL PVIL thing. It was just a 2 high school town in Palestine, Texas. So in like you said, yeah, Palestine High or Westwood has always kind of been second rate, second fiddle, I guess to say, but it doesn't look like it these days. So you got to go see him this morning. You got a great interview with him. We're going to play that right now.
Here we are, Palestine Westwood High School here in East Texas with the number 1 quarterback in 2027. That's Kavian Bryant. Kavian, it's really good to see you today. Hey, man, 2-a-days are right around the corner. We're getting closer and closer. You're up here working out still. Hey, what is your main goal going into this next season for 2025?
Just to win as much games as possible, and then for myself, focus on, my throwing motion, getting the ball where it needs to be, just being a leader to my team.
You also play basketball, obviously, but you've been working out a lot in football. You've been doing a lot of stuff here up at the school. You've got 2 little brothers that are out here running routes for you. What have you done to make yourself a better quarterback?
Just coming up here every day and just working on the things I need to work on, and just stand, working on it and continuing to do it every day.
How do you maintain that balance, Kavian? Because sometimes you're up here, got to get that work in for football, but then on the weekends, you're on a plane or on the road going to tournaments, hitting game-winning shots. Like, how do you maintain that balance between those sports?
Just waking up every day, coming to do either sport first and the other one second, and then just continuing to love the game.
You just love both of them, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Man, your recruitment has taken off. We know that. Let's start with basketball a little bit. Who are some of the schools that are standing out for you right now?
A&M, Texas, SMU. You got Stanford, you got Arizona State, schools like that.
Stanford, that means good grades. That's always a plus trying to do all this stuff. Football-wise, your recruitment's really taken off in football in the last 6 months. You had a great Under Armour camp up in Arlington a while back. Who are some of the schools that are standing out for you on the football field?
Texas, Florida State, Michigan, A&M, SMU. That's pretty good.
What is it about Texas?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, too. They're in the mix. Hey, Joey McGuire's doing some stuff out there in Lubbock, something to pay attention to.
Exactly.
You guys went to Austin in June. You went to earn that offer. You told me in February you were going to Austin to earn an offer. That's exactly what you did. What was that experience like throwing in front of Steve Sarkisian and the Horns?
So good. I had to stand on what I said, and I had to go up there and prove why I should get that offer.
What was Sark's message and Coach Milwee? What was their message for you?
They just love how I was coachable. They just told me to continue to work on my game, and it'll pay off.
You got any games you might see this fall? You're going to be busy on Friday nights. Any chance you get to travel on Saturdays, see some college games?
Yes, sir. I actually talked to Coach Sark yesterday on the phone, and I should be at a couple Texas games this coming up season.
Perfect. Kavian Bryant signing out, Palestine Westwood.
Awesome stuff, Justin. And Coach, one of the things that he mentioned was, and something you've written about as Texas has risen in recruiting over the past few years, is that he went to Austin to throw, to compete, to earn that offer. And we know how selective Texas is with quarterback offers, that competitive nature to go up there and try to earn it. That speaks a lot about Kavian Bryant, at least to me. And the fun thing is I get to throw on his highlights right now. And we could walk away for 17 minutes and then come back and they would just be finishing up. But again, him going and competing speaks volumes, I think, about the type of competitor Kavian Bryant is.
Yeah, look, you want those type of guys around your program or try to get them to your program, right? It says a lot. It's going to be some dog days. You got to see how you're going to compete and stack up against everybody else, man. And see his film like this. Everything comes so natural to him. It looks so easy. Like he's playing, I don't know, versus a lot of young kids, but he's not. He's dominant. But I love the fact that he went through the ball and went and compete in front of Coach Sark and Coach Milwee. It says a lot about him. And a ton of other guys who just signed or already committed did the exact same thing. So I think they're recruiting the right guys to Austin.
Justin, what are some of the other football factors? Because we have some other factors to talk about when it comes to this recruitment. What are some of the football factors that really help Texas stand out with Bryant?
It starts with Sark. Sark is the primary contact in this recruitment. Like Sark's running point on this. That is substantial. That really resonates with Kavian and with his family. AJ Milwee is right there co-piloting this thing. They both absolutely love Kavian. And so I think that speaks volumes, in my opinion, whenever Sark does that. And he doesn't do that with all these guys. Sometimes, he gets to know each recruit, but when he's running point, when Kavian's about to go on the court for a summer basketball game, and Sark has to FaceTime him before he gets out there because he wants to talk to Sark before he plays, that means something. Like in recruiting, that's a tell.
Yeah.
And so we know that, and I was even talking to Kavian's dad about this earlier, Texas usually has their quarterback for the previous class, for the next class by this time. If you think about it, at this time last year, in the last 2 years, they've had their kid committed already. This is one of the longest times they've gone into an offseason without having that quarterback committed from the next cycle. And that shows that, Sark is really taking ownership on this one. People were worried about the two sports. Sark said he talks to Sean Miller. Kavian is more than welcome to do both. And so I'll finish it up. Go ahead. You're muted, Joe.
We'll get to that in just a second. Thank you. But before we do, let's get to our sponsor, and that is Roback. There's only one way to describe Roback: best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Roback, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Roback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs and clean hoodie and Q-zip designs from some of your favorite schools like Texas, it's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Roback's everyday shorts or their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. Both are super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that's made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort for a day on the move. Roback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars like Quinn Ewers. They are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. Use the code TEXAS20 on roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com and 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with Texas20. So we are going to make a little history on this version. I think this is the first time I've thrown basketball highlights up on the stage here. Justin, you mentioned right before we went to our ad break, Sean Miller in a lot often in communication. What does he bring, and kind of where does basketball fit into this recruitment for Kavian Bryant?
Well, if you want Kavian Bryant, you better let him play basketball. Let me tell you, as great as he is at football, as an athlete and as a competitor, this is a basketball family, okay? All three of these boys can hoop. They've been hooping since birth. The dad played college basketball. You know, he's another one. You know, him and I actually played at the same school, started at the same school at Panola Junior College. Basketball is ingrained in this family. To me, it shows how competitive this group is. You know, last night, are they watching TV or what are they, you know, after dinner? No, they're reading a book together called 101 Ways to Be a Better Athlete. That's what this family's about. Like that's what they do. And so basketball is just ingrained in their DNA. And I got to tell you, as fun as it is to go watch him play football, I absolutely love watching him play basketball. He takes over every time. Like, he is so dominant on the floor at just 16 years old. He just turned 17 2 weeks ago. He was doing all of this stuff at 16 years old. If you want Kavian Bryant, basketball has to be in the conversation. Does it have to be the number one priority? No. I really do think they are making football A and basketball B. I really do, in their recruitment, because they understand playing quarterback in college requires so much more of your time than, say, the regular college football player. But the fact that Sark and Sean Miller have regular conversations about the idea of, let's bring this guy in, let's let him play both sports, to me, I can't remember a player at Texas playing football and basketball. And this is something we've done for a living for a long time. I can't even think of a guy that's done that. That's almost, that's a new level for these guys. But you know what? If you want Kavian Bryant, basketball has to be in the conversation.
Coach, I'm sure there have been a lot of recruitments where coaches say, yeah, you can do both. And everybody says, yeah, you can do both. Yeah, you can do both. And it's usually for, a top 100 football player and someone who's probably a mid-major basketball player. This isn't the case. This is someone who's top 100 in both, the number one quarterback in the 2027 class. How do you try to, thread that needle while at the same time, as a football program, trying to get the most from that player that you need from him in your program, giving him a roster spot, allocating NIL because he is a quarterback? Like, how do you make sure that you do everything the right way while trying to pander is not the right word, but communicate what they want to hear basketball wise?
I think, first of all, you just got to be straight up and honest with this kid, because a family like this, they're going to sniff it out if you're trying to sell him anything that's not unreal or untrue, right? And so just be honest and real with him about how you're going to split the time out. Have a game plan together. When he comes on a visit, have Sean Miller there with him too. Have a detailed plan like you do with any recruit. Now your plan is just going to say, hey, this is how much time you can get to spend in basketball. This is football. When you're not in basketball and football season, say in the spring or whatever the case, and we're trying to make a run in March Madness, well, we need you to do these workouts. And a lot's going to be on him to do on his own. So you're going to put some time in with some GAs or analysts or something like that in football when it's basketball season. But just be honest with the kid and his family, exactly a detailed plan on how you plan on splitting it up. And he's the right kid you can do that with. Some other kids, I understand. Oh, yeah, you can come here and run track. You may not be that good in track, right? And so you really need to focus on one sport before you can go and run track. I think a lot of kids make that mistake. But with this kid, he actually can do both. And so just have a detailed plan for him.
And Joe, real quick, there's a little bit of angst with fans, the idea of their quarterback take kind of wanting to play two sports. You made a great point on the board this morning. Come to InsideTexas.com, guys, because we were killing it today. Joe made a great point. These things tend to work themselves out. Patrick Mahomes played two sports in Lubbock. People don't know that. There were other guys from East Texas that have played two sports in school. And so it'll work itself out. If the development starts to really build and look good, don't be surprised if they put all their eggs in that basket. If quarterback doesn't work out developmentally, don't be surprised if he hangs it and starts playing two guard a little bit more and hangs more time with the basketball program. No matter what, you want these type athletes. You want these type of problems. If you think that's a problem, that's a great problem to have for a recruit, especially when the number one quarterback in the country, every time I say Texas, his eyes glitter.
And one other thing I think is like Sark's earned the benefit of the doubt here.
Thank you.
I mean, there's obviously he's thrown some offers. I think one to Peyton Houston from Northern Louisiana. There's one to Brady Edmonds from Huntington Beach, committed to Ohio State. This is
Houston
the third one.
Trending USC, by the way, just for the record.
So this is the third offer that he's thrown out, and I don't feel like Steve Sarkisian is going to risk quarterback recruiting in the 2027 class in a time when he's got to keep building on someone who doesn't end up getting into the program.
And don't forget, you got Dia Bell coming in 2026. If you try to bring in a 5-star, high-end guy, and Kavian is a borderline 5-star, but if you try to bring in another guy that's like that, like you got, there's levels to this stuff, okay? And so I think with a developmental guy like Kavian, because he does have some more development, I think it's almost perfect. It's a sweet spot in the class of 2027 to where Sark can then go back in 28 and maybe go for another big-time killer, drop back traditional passer like a Diabell, something like that. To me, Bryant fits in perfectly with kind of what the bridge that they've built with quarterbacks.
We'll get to one last little bit of 2026 recruiting information. Last night, David Benjamin from Oaks Christian in California released his top 5. As you can see, Texas, North Carolina, Oregon, Washington, and Michigan. Texas has at least, at true cornerback, Samari Matthews. They have Hayward Howard. They have Yaheem Riley committed as defensive back. They have Jermaine Bishop as an athlete. We kind of think that his career starts on offense. So they probably need another defensive back. Coach, this looks like one where Texas is competing with Michigan and Oregon, but is in a very good spot as, what is it, August? Is it August 2nd or August 20th?
Second.
Where do you see Texas in this one right now?
Look, this is one of those recruitment you're trying to hang around the rim, speaking of basketball, but Texas is in the finals for this guy, and that's exactly where you want to be. We've seen Texas be on kind of a heater here lately, right? Putting together competitive packages to get people here. And so with this kid, number one player and number one corner in the country, I'm sure Texas is in thick of things and not going to lose this recruitment due to, anything else unless you got, some West Texas type of deals going on. But I'm just saying, I think if it's a need, which this guy is at corner, a true DB, I think Texas is going to be a competitive than anybody else to try to land this kid. So I can't wait to see where he goes on August 2nd.
I like Texas' chances more if they didn't already have Hayward Howard Jr. and Samari Matthews. Like, I think Benjamin's going to be a pretty steep NIL price, and I think that's going to cut into slightly the two guys they already brought in. Does it scare off Texas? Absolutely not. They brought this guy in for an official visit in June for a reason, and they want another defensive back, whether it's a safety, whether it's a corner. We know that. But I think that with Howard Jr. and Samari already in this class, I think that makes it a little bit a taller task, so to speak. But as we've seen, like you said, Charlie, Texas is on a heater. They're going for everyone's number one. Every kid at every position that's number one, Texas is going after them. And so at least they're consistent.
The top schools don't always tell the full story, but there's no USC here.
Which is really odd. And no Ohio State, which is even more odd.
Like there are some programs associated with, NIL. But, North Carolina, that's Bill Belichick. That is probably one of the best defensive backs coaches ever. Oregon's been putting defensive players into the league. Dan Lanning. Washington, close to home. Michigan, defensive players. So it's an intriguing mix of schools there in his top 5. But, and like I said, it doesn't tell the whole story. But no USC. That's something that caught me by surprise. And even, sometimes Notre Dame sneaks into California for Los Angeles kids. Not there either. And they've got a good defensive back thing to sell, I guess to say. I'm struggling for words a little bit. But Justin, Charlie, anything else?
You held it down today, Joseph.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you're the one that got on the road. And if you want to read the full report, go to InsideTexas.com. $1 gets you access all the way until August 30th. You can read Justin with the latest on Kavian Bryant, basketball, football recruiting there. And, of course, go there for all our camp updates next week. Longhorns are going to be back in helmets, then shoulder pads and full pads, and you're going to want all the insight there. And if you haven't yet, Thinking Texas Football, the 2025 Longhorn Football Prospectus from our guy Paul Wadlington. Every player, every position, every opponent, every SEC team, the college football landscape, and, of course, Eric Naline has a look at the 2025 recruiting class, number 1. And we're going to talk on this show about how they're going to try to match maybe getting close to that number 1 spot. I think they're at number 4 right now, maybe a thing or two change with Bama adding a commit today. But Texas is in the top 5 after withering away in the top 15 for a little bit. So good to be up near that territory. Justin, thank you so much. Charlie, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. The Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.